What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ivy League Mindset. This is episode 20. Tonight, we're going to be sitting down, Hawk and I, and we're going to chat about all the guests we've had on the podcast so far. This is going to be a closeout to season 1. We got through 20 episodes, and if you guys stay tuned till the end, we'll have some information about what we have in store for you guys for season 2. So, Hawk, why don't you kick it off with the first guest we had on episode 2?
Yeah, so lots of wonderful guests, and we appreciate every single one of the guests that we've had. Amazing people, every single one of them. And we appreciate everybody who has tuned in to listen. So our first guest that we had was our good friend Tressa, and the name of the podcast was Mindset of a Vegan Athlete. So, of course, we talked about her being vegan and how it affected her ability to perform as a runner, and how it made her better, and how she eats and everything. I think she was great. Lots of information. I think a lot of people could learn a lot of things off of her, for sure. She's a very determined woman, and actually I saw her today. I saw her tonight. We were at CTC obstacles, so it's like kind of like an American Ninja Warrior type place, and of course she's there. She busts open all her calluses on her hands, but she doesn't give up, you know what I mean? She taped it up, continued on, and that's the type of people that are hard to get rid of in your life if you're a like-minded person too, right? So,
and that's the one big thing that I took away from that episode was when she was talking about how she made the choice to go vegan, how she had the perseverance to continue the journey no matter what roadblock or what struggle she had. She talked about how she was finding some foods weren't working for her, and it's the whole trial and error process of how to make the vegan food system work for her and work for the style of training that she was doing. And I really took that away from her. Like you said, she just she battles through anything.
mm-hmm.
When she has that goal and she's determined, she goes after it.
Absolutely. And I like that, like the determination again, but on top of that, she learns as she gets better. You know what I mean? As she gets better, she tries to look for things to make it better, right? So anything that she was missing being a vegan, she had a lot of trials and errors at the beginning, and then she started fixing those things, right? Instead of being like, oh, this doesn't work, I'm missing this, so I'm just gonna give up. She didn't give up. So if you're gonna do something, follow through. That's gonna be a common theme with a lot of these guests that we're gonna talk about. But yeah, Tressa, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And then it was good to see her tonight. It's funny that I keep seeing her everywhere I go, right? So,
and she's definitely going to be someone that we're going to have back on for season 2.
Absolutely. And actually, I was there, and Justin Darling, he's going to be in season 2 also, and hopefully we get him on soon. So our next guest, episode 4, was Corey Bannon. Go ahead, Dan. Talk a little bit about this guy.
So Corey is the owner and founder of Fit Club boot camps here in London, Ontario. I always get that. That's like a tongue twister.
Oh, yeah.
He's an amazing dude. He started Fit Club. He does so much for the community and gives back to the community. I think that was my biggest takeaway from him was he's not just a gym owner helping people transform their lives in that sense, but the amount that he gives back to the community and the events that he helps run and host, that is a busy guy. And to top it off, he has triplets at home. And you and I both know with 2 kids how busy that is. So he's getting all this done with triplets.
Yeah. Father, entrepreneur, it's crazy. I like following his Instagram. You guys should check it out, Fit Club Boot Camps, and Corey Bannon. He just finished the 75-day hard challenge there. That alone shows you what kind of a beast he is, and the people around him, everybody that's at that place, all beasts, all very inspirational people. So yeah, very cool person to pick his brain and learn a lot of things from.
Yeah, and I also found it pretty cool to hear how he had like a regular 9 to 5 job and how it just wasn't doing it for him, and that's when he made the transformation into being a business owner and starting that up.
Yeah,
And
following
just
your
like,
sorry, God.
oh, sorry, following your dreams.
Yeah,
And just like Teresa, not giving up. Like you said, he just finished 75 hard. That takes a lot of perseverance. And yeah, he's just one of those guys that he'll do anything for you. And he's a hard worker.
absolutely. With triplets, you got you got to be a hard worker, and you got to have a patience of a saint, right? So obviously, having a great other half is definitely key. But yeah, definitely a beast of a person. Speaking of beasts, episode 6, we had Jillian Best. Her story. We talked a lot about her story in this episode. So it was mindset of a survivor and a warrior, which completely suits that episode very, very well. Her and her mom, just amazing people in general, and to persevere and understand and appreciate life like on a different level. Like if you're that close to dying, like your mindset of appreciating life is on a different level. And like I seen her the other actually it's funny, I seen her yesterday. I seen all the guests. Actually I saw Corey yesterday too. Shout out to Corey. And then so I saw Jillian yesterday too. We every time we see her we chatted for like an hour, did handstands together and just talked about the podcast and whatnot, right? But it's cool to see her so appreciative of life, right? You can see her by the way she moves, the way she talks, and like even her mother, amazing person. Uh, every time I see her, I always tell her how amazing her mom is. So, but yeah, very cool person. Yeah,
Yeah, I think like what I took away from that one was just how grateful she is to be alive and live every day. Like when you come that close to death, and just to hear her, how she always had a positive mindset. She surrounded herself with the positive people she needed to be able to fight and get through what she needed to get through. And she was another one that after she had her transplant and was healed, she set out on that goal that she wanted to accomplish. And now she's swimming at some of the highest levels in her sport. And it's so cool to like hear someone that was like knocking on death's door to being a top level athlete like she is right now. And just the fighter that she is. And yeah, like nothing but amazing, great things to say about her.
oh yeah, yeah. I could talk. We're going to talk about her again shortly,
Yeah.
but it's it's funny. It's funny that that I saw her after we posted the Perspective Mindset uh, podcast that we just did, and seeing her again, like it makes me think about perspective on life, right? And she just listened to that one, so it's crazy how life makes things just mesh like that, right? So very cool. We'll talk about her again shortly here. But our next guest that we had on is one of my old clients here. The title of this one was Reversing Diabetes and Bypassing Heart Attacks with Sean Kohlberg. Yeah, that one, it's crazy to think that somebody reversed his diabetes. I'm That alone is amazing. What do you think of his story?
Yeah. And just like the determination that he has to stay healthy and continue down that path. Like when you hear how he talks about how big he was and the change that he made to get to where he was today, like you and I both know to do what he did takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of self-talk, a lot of self-awareness. Like what he did is what we chat about every single episode on here, you know? It was amazing to hear his story.
Um, what I really liked about it, and I kind of relate to it, and also you do too, I know, is when he talked about his father asking him to not go down the same path, right? And as a father myself, and you also, you know what it's like to feel for your kids, and you don't want to be, you wouldn't want some family member to get to the, you don't want to get to that point where a family member has to talk to you about changing your life to live, right? You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But at the same time, he loved them that much to say something, right? He knew he made mistakes. He didn't want his son to make the same mistakes, and he changed all that. And you see the inspiration and the influence he had on his wife, on myself, on the people around him. Right now, his daughter knows not to be like that. His son and daughter, step, yeah, it's just amazing, right? So it's funny that we do things for ourselves, but we also inspire others at the same time when we get past certain points, right? And not that we should go out and try to impress people or inspire people, but you're gonna do that regardless if you do amazing things, right?
Right.
Um, Next one is my good buddy, longtime friend, Zsolt Racz. So his was conquering life through tough situations. So his story was about he was an immigrant coming to Canada. Uh, Very inspirational person. Um, he does a lot of meditation, a lot of self-talk. Every time I talk to him, we have such long talks. One of those buddies that you can talk to for hours and hours and hours about mindset, right? And he'll give you the honest truth about how you're doing or what you need to do better, right? Because we're trying to better each other, right? It's that appreciation for your fellow person, right?
Right. Yeah. What I took away from that is just, as like we talked about in one of our episodes, as my grandpa was an immigrant coming here, and you hear about like the struggles and what it takes to set up shop in a whole new country, not knowing a new language. And then sort of just to hear him talk about that and talk about all the struggles that he overcame in his life, it's truly inspiring. And it, like we talked about last episode, gives you that whole new perspective on, like, you think that you had a hard life, but then you hear someone like that and it really puts things in perspective that you actually had a really easy life compared to that. Like, what are you complaining about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what people can learn from that is you can learn a few ways. And one way I really start to appreciate is when, as a trainer and as a person that loves to listen, is that I'm learning through people's stories, right? Like most of these people, I'm learning so much from them, and I appreciate that. And like for Zolt, he with the alcoholic dad, and was trying to be better for his own family and trying to be entrepreneur himself. He's doing the right things to be better and to handle life, right? So I like that he also was another person that has become, so Tressa became vegan for performance. Zolt became vegan for his health, right? So again, we're going to talk about another person that has changed their eating later on, but uh, he does things to better himself, right? So he does meditation, which I really appreciate. It's tough. It's not easy to do, but he was talking about. I saw him the other day. I know I seen everybody the other day there, but I see a lot of people every day. I like seeing people, but whatever. So I saw him the other day, and he's talking about his heart rate, and he got his blood work done because changing your eating style, you should do your due diligence to make sure that you're getting everything you need, and you're not missing anything. So they checked his heart rate, and his heart rate was super low. Like resting heart rate was super low. And they're like, "Are you like a super athlete or something?" And then he's like, "No." They're like, "Oh, tell me your secret." And he truly believes, and I believe it too. It comes from the meditation and that self-awareness of your own body and mind, right? It's amazing. I know you
It
do a
is.
little bit of something there too, don't you, Dan?
Yeah, I do like I'm not very consistent of it, but it's something I've been working on. But I have an app that I use that gives you like a 10 to 15-minute guided meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know that the days I do it and you give your mind that quiet time, it really does wonders for you.
Mm-hmm.
And to do it consistently over long periods of time, I know that the benefits would be great. It's just one of those things that you got to commit to, which he has, and he's seen the benefits from it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Zolt. Thank you for coming on, and we appreciate you too. And our next one, yeah, it's my brother. His was live by your morals and travel the world. Pretty much says it all. But this one is what we say every podcast is that do what you say you're gonna do. And this dude followed his dreams, and he's continuing to do everything it takes to accomplish what he wants to do, which is travel to every single country in the whole entire world, right? His he only he only told us a few stories, but those stories alone were amazing. We could have talked for like 10 hours, but it was it's pretty cool to see somebody who has dedicated his whole life to following through with his dreams and his goals, no matter what it takes.
Yeah, it was really cool to hear how, like, when he was explaining to us some of the things he had to do to get into some of the countries that he went to, like nothing was a roadblock for him. It was just a little hurdle. It was okay. Now, what do I have to do that? What do I have to do
Mm-hmm.
to do that? Because his goal is to travel and see every single country in the world, and nothing's going to stop him from doing that. And I really like that mindset of him is that, okay, that's just a hurdle that I have to get over. That's not the end of the road.
Yeah, lots of like you said, little hiccups here and there, getting mugged, people trying to rip them off, even like government people, like people who work for the government or the airport or whatever, trying to like hustle him. You know what I mean? But he didn't let that stop him. Sickness didn't let him stop it. You know, it says a lot about him. Um, so we talked about Teresa being vegan for performance, Zolt being vegan for health, and my brother Hut being vegetarian slash vegan uh, for morals, which I'll go over real quick. I think he was in Malaysia. I forget which country, but um, he was gonna kill a baby goat as tradition or whatever to go eat it. And he didn't have the heart to kill it, and the mama goat was ramming him, and he couldn't do it. So his thing was, if he couldn't kill it, he doesn't deserve to eat it. He always said that he can eat meat because he would be willing to kill it, but you know he got put to the test and he couldn't do it. So now he doesn't eat meat, and now he's doing everything that he has to do to transfer it over to the lifestyle that he wants to live. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool. Pretty cool
Yeah.
person.
Really
Pretty
cool to
cool
hear his
stories.
stories and his world travels.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Again, we'll have him on when he starts to finish up more countries on his list there. He's at, I believe he was at like 92 or 93 out of what was it, 195.
Yeah, and he was
So
going on another adventure soon, right?
yeah, so pretty good, pretty good. Our next one, thank you, Hut. Our next guest, which we already had her on before, but we had a different topic this time, is talking competition mindset with Jillian Best. What did you take from that, Dan?
That one was really cool because you were just fresh off a competition. She was just fresh off a competition. And it was really cool to hear you guys just talk about your mindsets and compare them. And just to know that, like, it doesn't matter what the competition is. it's just cool to hear how people mentally prepare for things, you know,
Mhm.
like
Yep.
whether it's swimming, whether it was jujitsu, whatever it is, when you prepare mentally for it and you really can get ready for it, you can achieve some great things.
Mhm. What I took from the podcast with Jillian was never let anybody downplay what you do for your own passion, right? A lot of people, like, it doesn't matter how many people are in the competition, why you're doing the competition, what the competition is. People are putting themselves out there, right? And it should be a self thing, right? You shouldn't be, if anything, you shouldn't be judging another. Oh, like whatever, they won because of this, or they lost because they suck, or whatever. Just be supportive, like, you know what I mean. It takes a lot to put yourself out there, and I feel like a lot of people who judge haven't put themselves out there before, and until you do that, you won't really understand. Not that you wouldn't understand, but you won't understand fully what like the nerves, the adrenaline, the everything about preparing yourself for this goal that you want to achieve, right?
Yeah, I saw sort of on that. I saw like a really cool thing today. I forget what the exact words were, but it was something like, you'll never be judged by those who have done more than you, only by those who have done less, because they don't understand, right? And that's exactly it. The people that are in fast forward and doing their thing, they don't have time to judge people like that, and they don't have that mindset. And the people that aren't doing what they wish they were doing and get upset or angry or whatever it might be, those are the haters, and those are the people that are going to judge.
Yeah. Now, again, we talked about it during the podcast. Was usually the people talking crap are the usually the first ones to ask for help, and I'm always willing to help because changing that kind of mindset, oh, I'm down for it 100%. Right? I think some people are just a little lost. Um, Usually, when they judge others, they find the insecurity in themselves, or find something that they don't like about themselves, and they want to project that on you, saying that you're like that, or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you feel like you're in a negative mindset all the time and you need somebody to talk to, I'm willing to listen any day of the week, anytime. Um,
Just shoot us a message, both of us.
yeah, anytime. My wife hates me talking so much all the time, but that's just how I am. So it is what it is. Jillian, again, thank you so much. You're the best.
And
I'm just
definitely
kidding.
another
Yes.
one that we'll have on for season 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, Next one we had was talking Raptors, athletes, and martial arts with Kyle Bassford. Really well-spoken person. First off, thank you, Kyle. And it was cool because it was fresh off the Raptors winning the championship. That was amazing. I'm still blown away. Sorry, I'm a huge Raptors fan, so I zoned out there for a second, picturing them winning again. Anyways, Kawhi's gone. I'm sad about that. But back to
Yeah.
back back to Kyle. Um, we talked a lot about bandwagon mentality and how it has pros and cons and stuff like that. And just thinking about how it brought a lot of different people together, which was a great thing. It was a wonderful thing. Now, we did see some stupid people cause trouble, shoot people, stab people. But again, just like life, we shouldn't take those few people and put them in the same bubble as everybody else. You know what I mean? Those are individual stupid people that don't deserve to be put in the same category as like the Raptors fans that we're all trying to come together for a good cause, right?
Yeah, there's always going to be the few people out of large groups that are going to do that. And that's unfortunate. That's the way it is. But I really, like I really found your buddy Kyle pretty entertaining. It was it was really cool because it was fresh off that Raptors win, and I really got the feeling how diehard of a fan he was, and you, and like how long you guys had been waiting for that. And then yeah, just talking about how when you have that one common goal, which was the Raptors winning the title, or whatever it might be, how groups of different people who may have never ever associated with each other can come together and band together and focus on that one goal, which is really cool.
Yeah. Now basketball, for just a little story between Kyle and I. The first day we met, like, so we lived in residence at Fanshawe, and the he was already there for a couple days or whatever, and I came in with my brother Hut. It's funny, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" Whatever, and I saw that there was basketball, and then we both chatted about basketball. That's like one of the first things we talked about. We played basketball a few times too, and he's told me this a few times. As soon as he said that, I told him that I was a basketball fan, we meshed right away. That he knew that we're going to be friends. So it's pretty cool that it led up to this talk on the podcast with the Raptors winning and us being fans since the beginning. So it meant a lot. So thank you, Kyle. We appreciate you. And on to our last guest. I was just at the place that she calls home, CTC Obstacles there. The ninja place that I talked about where I saw Trusted tonight, actually. Summer wasn't there. She's at her cottage, so but we put in work tonight, and so Summer she had a very cool process on how she works. She's very routine. She does what she says. So she does ninja, pole, a bunch of other things. And she does a lot of accessory stuff. So I've seen her at rock climbing. I've seen her at gymnastics. It's very cool to see somebody doing that accessory work like myself, and seeing that they're trying to hone in on their skills by doing other things. I'm sure you're the same way, Dan.
Yeah,
With a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing I found that was really, really cool with Summer was that she didn't really start getting into like fitness and exercise until her 30s. And it just like goes to show that it's never too late to try anything new or do anything, because she's only been doing this ninja for only a couple years now, and she's already competing at the highest level in her sport, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's never too late to try something new. You might think like, oh, I'm over 30 now. I'm too old to try that. I didn't ever try when I was a kid, so it's too late. I'll just forget about it. Like that never came into her head. Those were just hurdles. Like, oh, I'd never done that before. I have to work extra hard to get really good at this because this is something that I want to do.
And I think some people need to hear stories like that, right? To know, like, okay, you know what? Some of these excuses that I have, like we talked about how to cut some of the excuses. I called it cutting the bullshit, right? We can make a million excuses why we aren't doing what we're supposed to do. But when it comes down to it, we're all capable of doing it, and you should just follow through. There's a wonderful place on the other side where lots of work has been put in. You feel so much better about moving, feel comfortable in your own skin, right? And this is only the beginning for her, right? Which is just getting better. And we all can do that. I really believe that.
Exactly.
And that was our last guest, Dan.
Yeah, she was a really good one to sort of end season 1 for us, and then we ended season 1 as one of our chats last week on perspective. And that was sort of a really good one to finish the season off, because really every episode that we talked about had something to do with that. And one thing that I know I learned from chatting with every single one of these amazing guests that we had on this year was you got to see a new perspective about things, right? Like every single one of them, you got to hear their story and learn how they got to where they got. And it gave you a brand new perspective on not only them, but also just on life itself.
Yeah. I can't wait to, like, I love talking to each one of them in person. And it's funny, just like I said about Jillian, every time I see one of these people, I have to talk to them. Like, I just want to learn more about them and their perspective or their opinion on this or whatever the case is. And I feel like when you surround yourself with those type of people, like all these people are amazing. They're all positive. They're all goal getters. They're all doing their thing, and you just got to appreciate those kind of people, because it motivates me. It pushes me to just keep plugging away, because time waits for no man, right? So that's what it is. These guys are still going. They keep going. I never see any of them stop, to be honest.
No, they're all like what we amplify here at Ivy League Mindset. They're hard
Exactly.
workers. They dig in. When they set goals, they do whatever it takes to get it. And they're always hungry, which I love. Like there's
Yeah.
always another mountain to climb when they get to the top of the one they're going for right now.
Yeah.
And you might not hear these guys on season 2, but you'll definitely hear them in the future with episodes, because every single person we had on this season, we'll definitely be chatting with again, because we really could have chatted with every single one for at least 3 hours, just chatting about their stories and getting different perspectives and mindsets. And we had to cut it short because we didn't want to have like 3-hour episodes.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, they'll have more and more stories, and we'll be able to get new perspectives on how they're looking at life, because like you and I, things change for people, and it's always good to chat with someone again in 6 months to a year or however long it might take, and see where they're at now, right?
Yeah. I can't wait for everybody to listen to season 2 when it comes out, because we have some monster guests just like this season. Yeah, just more beasts coming.
Yeah. So just to clarify a little bit for you guys, this is episode 20. Hawk and I have decided to end season 1 on episode 20. We're going to take a few weeks here, and we're going to create some sick content for you guys. We have some amazing people lined up that we're going to be interviewing, and we need a little bit of time off from putting some stuff out there, because we need to record some good content. And as long as you guys keep following us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, which will all be linked in the show notes below, you'll be able to see what we're up to, see some sneak peeks, and see the hype that season 2 is going to be. Season 2 is going to be dropping the first week of September, and it's going to be 20 new episodes with some new people, some old people, and some amazing content.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for it. Yeah, definitely tune in. Let your friends, families, grandmas, grandpas, dogs all know that it's going to be. We're just getting started. We're just getting better. So it's been amazing so far, and I appreciate you, Dan, for sticking with me and listening to me rant on about some of these things. But I enjoy talking to you all the time, right? So
Yeah, and you too. I mean, it's been a learning curve these last 20 episodes, and it's been a good learning curve, right? Like anything, you just keep sticking it out and grinding it out and working hard, and through trial and error, you learn and you make things better and better.
yeah, if anybody has any questions at all regarding Ivy League mindset or fitness, health, or mindset in general, just feel free to message us. Or if you have anything that you want to talk about, or if you want to be on our podcast for season 2 or maybe season 3, depending on if we can get through all our guests, this season. But yeah, just message us anytime.
Or if you guys think of anyone that we should interview, like someone you know that would go well on this podcast, just send us a message, like Hawk said, anytime. And yeah, like we're doing this for you guys. So if there's something that we didn't cover this season that you guys really want to hear, or there's something that we covered that we didn't go too in depth about that you'd like to hear more about, reach out, send us a message, and we will be happy to please your needs.
I think that's it, Dan. It's been an amazing season.
Once again, just want to thank all you listeners and viewers now that we're throwing videos up. We really wouldn't be able to do it without you and all our guests that we had this year. This podcast and this idea that you and I thought up and now that we've put into reality would not be possible without those 9 people that we sat down and interviewed this year, and without all the people listening to us and giving us support and giving us feedback so we can make this thing better. We really, really appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for everything. And I know Hawk like definitely feels the same way too.
100%.
And
yeah,
that's a wrap for season 1, guys. Thank you so much. Check the show notes. We'll have all our links for Facebook, YouTube, our Instagrams down there. We'll also have links for all these guests so you can check out their Instagrams and their Facebooks. And until season 2, guys, cheers.
Have a good night.